Why is Jaime Sabines considered cultural heritage in Mexico? Jaime Sabines is one of the most important voices in Mexican literature, and his work is deeply connected to Chiapas' cultural identity. His poetry expresses the Mexican experience with honesty, talking about love, family, and everyday life. Human emotion in a simple but powerful way. This accessibility is part of what makes him so important. How has my personal experience shaped my interest in these topics? Since childhood, I've heard about Sabines through my family, especially my mom. Reading his poems and visiting places dedicated to him to make me appreciate how closely his work reflects the warmth of sincerity of Chiapaneco culture. This personal connection pushed me to explore why his legacy matters so much today. What do I want to learn about his cultural impact? I want to understand how Sabines' writing shaped Mexican and Chiapanecan identity and how his legacy continues to influence new generations. I'm also interested in how institutions and communities work to preserve his memory. What related topics and figures helped contextualize this one? His legacy can be compared to other Chiapanecan poets like Rosario Castellanos and Ruperto Bautista, as well as broader themes like national identity in literature and cultural heritage preservation. Who participates in preserving his legacy? Writers, academics, students, cultural institutions such as UNAM and ENBAL, and local communities in Chiapas all play a very important role. Even his family contributes to keep his memory alive to this day. What current issue affects the recognition of his work? Younger generations may be less familiar with Sabines due to digital culture and a growing distance from poetry. Without creative promotion, his work risks becoming less visible. Many also see poetry as elitist, although Sabines' style challenges that idea. How do these findings help us understand Sabines' importance today? They show that cultural heritage depends on active engagement. Sabines' poetry still resonates, but to remain relevant, it needs to reach the new generations. His case highlights how regional artists can shape national identity and how communities must adapt cultural heritage to new generations. What tensions appear when trying to preserve his legacy? There is a gap between the emotional depth of his poetry and the fast-paced digital world. Institutions preserve his work, but the challenge is making it appealing in formats that feel accessible to today's audience, mainly the new youth. What can we conclude about the cultural significance of Jaime Sabines? Sabines is more than a poet. He represents a shared emotional and cultural experience. His work links Chiapas with the broader Mexican identity and remains a key part of the country's literary heritage. Why is preserving his legacy so important? Keeping his work alive ensures future generations understand of a vital part of Mexico's cultural and emotional history. Promoting his poetry in new formats helps maintain its relevance. And last but not least, how does this topic deepen our understanding of cultural heritage? It shows that heritage includes not only traditional monuments, but also the voices that shape our collective identity. Sabines' poetry is one of those voices and is very, very, very worth preserving.